really had me thinking like about the person I am and the person I want to be as a more reformed adult. Because I'm an adult now, but I don't feel like it. When I hit 30, I'll feel like an adult, I'm sure. Until then,
It's usually about that time if something should have kicked in.
I turned 25 and I felt like I should be more mature, but I never felt like older. Like I didn't feel like more of an adult. Like I just felt like I knew more what it took to be an adult. I feel like when I turn 30, like I'll be like, all right, I'm an adult now. Like I gotta handle my business. Well, I mean, I already handle my business, but like then it'll be like more like ingrained in me, I guess. I still feel like I'm like 19. I don't know. Maybe I'm just having a elongated midlife crisis. Maybe. Oh, you playing Taxi Boss without me? Oh, you playing your other game? I was almost hurt. I gotta make a highlight of our fucking best podcast moments to use for promo on TikTok. I don't care about this. Thanks, babes.
Shit's fucking hilarious.
Shoobity, boobity, shoobity, boobity.
Oh, he's just adorable with his little high yellow ass.
Ah, yellow ass.
I'm fucking weak.
Like
I'm crying, bro.
look, he look like a red highlighter right about now. He is cute though.
Oh, that's a little Rolling John.
These private fucking landlords on Facebook are so predatory, bro. Every day. Hey, folks, did you know you can get a house for... Like, stop lying. Stop lying. This one dude posts the same screenshot of him buying a house for $300 every fucking day, bro. Like, I'm not taking your course, bro. Get out of here.
Like, bitch, if my landlord can't afford this house for that much, what makes you think I can?
I'm like, come on, bro. Your shit is not $300. You lying. You lying.
They said it is.
Lying to anybody.
Shit, $300 in taxes every month.
Okay. Ain't fooling me. I'm no dummy.
I'm fucking weak.
I'm no fool.
Can y'all still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Sounds good.
I went into my actual microphone settings. Those all the way to 100.
And that might be what it is. You might be peeking out. So it's like cutting you off because you're peeking. I would like go down like 90.
That's what I was at.
I don't know. You are naturally loud though, so maybe we go down to like 80. If you were at 90 and peaking still, go down to like 80. Take it down 10 more.
How low can you go?
Can you go down low? Touch your hands to your toes. Twizzlers are not good for you, bro, but they're so fucking good.
They're so delicious.
So good.
Love Twizzlers. I can't help myself.
That's
can't.
fucking Twizzlers are nothing but colored wax. How the fuck can you chew on those?
They're delicious, Karen.
It's the only candy I eat, so I'll allow it.
Literally.
I'll allow it.
I'm not mad at that, given that there's no calories in that because it's colored wax.
Literally colored wax. No, it's 90 calories. 0 grams of fat. 22 grams of carbohydrates. 60 milligrams of sodium.
I can't even be mad at that though.
Less than 1 gram of protein though.
Doing nothing for you, my guy.
Nothing out of that but carbs. That's it.
Literally nothing but carbs. I've been killing it at the gym though, so fuck it. I'll take it.
Hey, I ain't mad at it. But
I'll take it. I've been getting swole, son. I might be beating niggas up. Next person to look at me wrong, I'm swinging. Say something.
I ain't mad at that. This man said he getting swole out here.
Bro, I was at the gym with my homie for an hour today. Getting that nigga is husky already, so he be having me do husky nigga shit. I can't lie, that shit be working out. That shit be working out. Bro, this nigga be having me do the hardest workouts, and I like how Jonathan Majors was husky as shit for his fucking for the Creed movie. He be having me do the Jonathan Majors workout, which is like a whole bunch of like crazy ass workouts, literally.
He said we're gonna beat your ass up one way or another, motherfucker.
No bullshit. And I ain't mad at him, you know what I'm saying? Usually when I go by myself, I go right to the pull-ups because I'm trying to like get better with doing push-ups. So for days I can't get to the gym, so a nigga can knock out 100 push-ups and be like, all right, well, there you go. You know what I'm saying? Lifting 150, 100 times, that's a lot of weight, you know? So I'm trying to get to that point. But the gym is nice. It's nice. It was all these kids there today, though, because now they allow kids for free, I think it is, for the summer. Which is cool. I like it for the kids. I don't like it for me because they be in there like it was this one kid hanging off the weight joint, like literally bouncing up and down, like
just hanging out for fun, like he goes here.
Like, bro, like I couldn't be too mad because half of the kids there were like working out, like actually like half of them were working out and just in strange ways, you know what I'm saying? Like you could tell some of them never been to the gym, but like the other half were literally just running around like just doing God knows what. It's like, what the fuck are y'all doing?
They're just like, yeah, this is our first time in the gym by ourselves.
Yeah, like it's definitely our first time in the gym without our fucking parents here type shit. Yeah, bro. It was alright though. No, literally, yes, that was them. It's this one John where you have to like lay on your back and you push the weight up with your feet, and the kid was literally he walked up to it, grabbed it with his hands, and was like, I'm like, that's not what you're supposed
like,
to.
Bro, stop it. I said.
I was like, listen, if you're happy, I'm happy. You know what I'm saying? It's keeping these kids off the street. You know, like it was literally like it's like 20 kids in there. You know what I'm saying? That's 20 kids not on the street, so. I can't really hate it too much, you know what I'm saying? Like that's one of those things I'd be begging for is more, activities and opportunities for the youth, and that's one of them good Jones. Keep the kids in shape, keep them out of trouble. Good Jones, because you don't have a limit for how long you can be in the gym. You can be in the gym for 5 hours if you want, as long as you're not in people's way. A kid can be at the gym for however the fuck long they want.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Oh man.
Not me patting my head like I got all these braids and shit.
feeling like petty, huh?
Bad.
Braid master. Yeah, when I had to start patting my braids, I take them bitches right out. That shit start getting too itchy for me. I'm like, all right, that's enough.
Sheer laziness keeps me here.
I feel that.
I'd be in these hoes forever.
Nah, once my braids start getting itchy, I take them bitches right out. I'm done. But all right, let's get started, man. Big Irk, Small Talks, episode 10. It's been a while since episode 9. All right, don't crucify us. Life happens, you know. As y'all can see, it's just me and Petty today with Karen. You know, y'all see Karen below in the small box, but Karen is more of a, you know, what's the what's the announcer that does the announcing for all of the like, yeah, like what,
She's like our in-house audience.
yes,
We're like a
yes.
live recording, and it cares like one person.
Right, Karen's our laugh track and such. So
Yo, yeah.
literally, we out here vibing. Today we want to talk about relationships and what it takes to both hold yourself, your partner, and your partner accountable, and what it means to like earn the things that you crave in your relationship. One big thing that was coming about in my relationship was me wanting to have sex all the time. But like I'm also not holding my relationship, like I'm not holding my relationship up. Like I'm not doing anything to contribute to my relationship. So it's like, how could I possibly like be like, oh, let's have sex. But it's like everything going on is like a fucking mess. You know what I'm saying? Like that's one thing that my partner had to come to me and be like, listen, like, no, like we're not gonna have sex because you're not doing shit. Like you're not doing shit for me, you're not doing shit for the house, you're not doing shit for us as a whole. Like that's not cool. Like why would I want to give you ass? Like that's literally what you said. Like, why would I want to do this with you, but you're not doing anything for me?
That's a very common conception in like straight relationships. Men in general, in my experience, do get comfortable, and there's like even after that, you just assume that's just like a natural step for us to take every night, or that's every time we kick it, because I'm single right now. So every time we kick it, if we fucked maybe once, maybe twice, and this was just like, we were doing it in the moment, don't assume that's now something that's going to happen every one. Yeah. Don't think if I say, hey, come kick it at 12 in the afternoon, and you only begin to ask at 1:30 at night, that's what that's going to lead to. And I ain't talked to you in 2 weeks. I may have just was like, hey, I wasn't doing my part as a friend. Let me meet up with you and let's kick it and get to know each other again and let's lives. That was not an introduction into my bedroom.
Facts. And you got to know that line. Like you got to know what's the line between like I'm trying to get closer to you and I'm trying to have sex with you right now. Like, even in like whether you're single or whether you're in a relationship, like there's always going to be a point in time where you could get closer to the person that you're like lusting after. Like there's always more you could do for the person that you're lusting after. There's always more that you could do to make your partner or your sexual partner, whatever it is, more comfortable. You know what I'm saying? And if we're not doing those things, how can we expect anything out of the person that we're lusting after type shit? It just doesn't really make sense. And it's selfish. Like, it's selfish. It's selfish to think that you can just get things and not do anything. Like,
I think it's easy to fall into that comfortability in a relationship. Because, like, I think being single now, I have to be conscious. Because by that same respect, I say that as I know guys that I have a certain situation with where that's really not, a major part of their life. So it's easy to get comfortable and think, and just fall into like the relaxing. But when I was in a relationship, well, I probably was to it too. I can say I really was. I don't have to work for the dick anymore. No, everybody wants to feel wanted. Everyone wants to be needed and valid. And it's even more so when you're in a relationship because you guys are the two people that are supposed to supply that to each other.
Yes.
So it's almost like you have to be even more on top of it.
Yeah, like you gotta, when you're in a relationship, boy, like it's always something you should be conscious of. Am I making my partner feel secure? Like, am I making my partner feel secure enough to want to have sex? Am I making my partner feel secure enough to want to go and do things that we both may enjoy, or that you may enjoy, or that they may enjoy? Like, if there's not a certain level of security, like, there's absolutely no way you're getting some ass. Sorry, like it's just not happening. Like you gotta, because if you think about it on your end, if you're not feeling secure, if you're as a man or as a woman not receiving a certain amount of things from your partner, you're not gonna want to have sex with them. So why would they want to have sex with you if you're not giving them that same,
It's give and take. You have to remember there's an equality to it. Constantly, even in just like friendships, I'm constantly working at the concept, and being fair. And sometimes there are situations that it can't possibly ever be fair. And you have to do your best to subsidize for that. And I think it comes back to, and you have to be honest with yourself. Sometimes you're just, and that's okay to say, that's okay to be open, honest with you. I got a lot of stuff going on. I can't be fair, but that honesty to whoever you are trying to get that equality.
And that's a really good point. I've actually we had that conversation in my relationship was like, oh, things aren't equal. Things aren't always going to be equal. Somebody's always going to be going through a bit more than you. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's been periods in my relationship, we've been together almost 6 years, where it's like been years of me being down in the dumps, not able to do anything, and it's not equal for my partner. And it gets to a point where it's reversed. And it's like, it's not always going to be equal because it's two of y'all. It's two different people, two different perspectives, two different experiences, two different emotional paths. So it's always going to be at one point somebody going through a little bit more, somebody having to do a little bit more. And if you love your partner enough and you feel secure enough with your partner, it'll never be an issue. You know what I'm saying? It'll always be something that's just, hey, I got to do a little bit more this month. I got to do a little bit more this year. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? You'll take it on the chin because when it gets to the point where you need to take a seat, you need to, what I'm saying, have that space, your partner will be able to give that to you as well.
It's like what they say, life's not fair. So if you think about it in theory, if life's not one individual, when you take two individuals where life's not fair,
it's even worse.
It's kind of fucked your odds.
It's never fucking fair at that point. It's never fair. Yeah. Real shit. And it just, when things are fair, you start to wonder, am I carrying my weight? Is my partner carrying their weight? And what does that mean? Like, what does that mean to carry your weight? Like, what does it mean to you? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Carrying your weight, I think, depends on the two people in the relationship. And it's impossible. And I kind of hate this question, and I love it at this.
Yeah.
I'm constantly going over this with my friends and people that I talk to. It is impossible for me to tell you how your partner can carry their weight because I'm not in this relationship.
Yeah.
I did not fall in love with this person. It is on you to truly know the individual you decided to fall in love with and what you can hold them accountable to. And realistically, don't go out there holding them to some idea or, some like, we typically tend to be like, oh, I wanted to be like this guy from this movie, or I see this on TikTok and like relationship goals. Like, don't hold them to those stupid ass relationship goals that don't even apply to you. You want a guy to go buy you flowers and you don't even like flowers, and he's out here buying flowers, and now you're saying, like, I just find it dumb to hold somebody to a standard that you don't really value that highly already. And then say, oh, is he pulling his weight? Well, the things he were doing were superficial things that didn't really matter to you. So, of course, it didn't feel like he was pulling his weight. Or the same thing for men, with women. Of course, it doesn't feel like she's pulling her weight if you just held her to the idea of being cute. Dang. That's all you wanted from your partner was her to be cute.
Yeah.
Hi, you wanted a baddie. And now you're mad you got to pay for her bag. You chose this.
Yo,
she
that's insane. I never really thought about it like that. You definitely, that's crazy. Yeah, like are you carrying the weight that you put upon your partner to hold to, like, that you're holding them to that standard?
Like, what did you want? Like,
yeah.
You chose someone who may have been open and honest, even if they were what I may consider a disgusting individual. Mm-hmm. That's what you chose. And now you're holding them to a value that's outside their character.
Yeah. And
you want to say this person's not pulling their weight. But you chose them based off of something superficial in you. Mm-hmm. You're not fulfilled.
Did you choose your partner because they were hot, not because they had emotional intelligence?
Sounds like your problem. You are an emotional being who needs to be stimulated. Now, if you can live without, and that's why I say it's impossible for me to judge and say, is that person in their weight? Because some people, that's all they needed.
Yeah.
If that's all you needed and you felt like homegirl was doing what she needed to do, because I'm not saying getting up and putting the face full hard, because I don't do it. So if he felt like that's all he wanted, homegirl doing what she got to do.
That's a good point. Establish what you want. What is your standard for your relationship? What would make you feel good in your relationship? Like, wow. Dang, Petty, I'm not going to lie. That's a good perspective. It makes me think. I luckily am in a relationship where we both are holding each other to a standard that is a lot more loose because of the understanding of the trauma that we've both been through. But it's interesting to think of the standards that we could possibly hold each other to, not even thinking about it, just off of superficial things. That's crazy.
Well, and I appreciate that you guys have something deeper, and it takes, I think, it's harder to make something like what you guys have work because you have to be extremely honest with yourself. Mm-hmm. And in order for, if you're traumatized individuals, in order for you both to feel secure, a certain level of that security had to start in you as an individual. Mm-hmm. So that you didn't unintentionally expect some security from your partner. Because a lot of what we talked about goes into, are you entitled to dick? And, are you being held to a standard? If you're completing that standard, why may you still not be getting that dick? Okay, how did you go about securing your partner? And what does security mean to that person? Once you've answered a lot of those questions, it's very easy to figure out what is going to make your partner feel secure and what's going to make them want to be intimate with you.
That's facts. That's a really good
you
point.
guys conquered a really hard part of it.
Yeah.
So, once you get outside of now, you, like you said, it was, okay, I got to uphold my part now. It was easy for you to jump there and figure that out instead of going into this destruction in yourself of, I'm just,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? You see a lot of people where they go, I'm just enough. And it's like, no, obviously you're here because you were enough. You need to be secure in that part in yourself first. Now go do what you need to do to make her feel secure.
Exactly. Yeah, it's important to have a certain level of security within yourself, because that's something that we emphasize a lot, because we do understand how important it is to be an individual, not be so connected to your partner 1,000% of the time. Like, yeah, you have a joint life, and yes, you're building something together, but at the end of the day, you're individuals. Like, so it's important to have a certain sense of security in yourself. You know what I'm saying? I definitely do agree with that. And it's important to communicate with your partner. That's one of my hardest strengths. Like, that's one of the things I'm worse at. I'm bad at communication, period. Like, I'm terrible at it. But like, communication within my relationship is one of the hardest things for me, because I always feel like, am I being an asshole, or am I communicating my feelings? Am I about to say something that's going to hurt, you know what I'm saying, my partner's feelings, or am I saying something that's truthful and maybe we can, find a way to get over it? Like,
how do you determine the difference between truthfulness and hurt? Because I find that the truth
does hurt.
If you genuinely care about your partner, you never taking critique. And I find that when you spend a lot more time, one particular downfall, me and my ex, we both sat down and went over, was we both typically tended to like shield the truth, not even shield it, but soften, or do your best to soften it, which takes away from the authenticity of it, and how much it really hurts when you're trying to curb the impact it has on that person, because no matter what, they're gonna feel that, because that's never your intent to hurt your partner. So how do you differentiate being an asshole and just being blatantly honest?
Yeah, that's something that Izzy tells me not to worry about a lot, because I always feel like I've just now recently started communicating a lot more. Like, even if it's like something little where it's like I misconstrued something, now I'm like, why'd you say that? Like, why? My feelings are hurt a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Like, can we talk about this? And now it gets easier to talk about. But it's definitely important in circumstances where you're communicating something that's like serious, like not something that's small, like, oh, you stepped on my shoe, I don't like that. Something that's serious, like, okay, something you said really hurt me, or something you did really hurt me. Like, how can we get past this? Like, it's important to remember that, like you said, the truth hurts, but the truth also keeps you from being hurt too much in the future. Like, it does a lot of damage to hide stuff from your partner that is hurting you, because then it hurts them in the future when you blow up on them about it. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody forgets the hurt that they've been through. It just becomes something that builds and builds and builds until it's something that you eventually take out on somebody. And it's, how important is communication to you in your relationship? How important is it to you to find ways to communicate that are healthy and wholesome for both you and your partner in your relationship?
And I think that's the thing, is it's beyond, like, it's so critical. It's crucial that you got to be able to communicate, because no one's, I think, sometimes when you have a very emotional bond with someone, you typically tend to think you can just like kind of sense it out. You feel it, you'll see it in their face, but sometimes you're a little late. You're a human being too. I think it's important to remember you are one person who, you may work a job and you have 50 million things, you have a family. There are a lot of things that draw on your attention. Not really to be able to ascertain the mood of one person all the time.
Good point.
And sometimes you just got to ask. I think it's okay to do those checks. Good? Because I'm one of those people. I do it. I'm good. I just feel like I've been on.
Yeah.
They ask me, how you feeling?
Right. It's better to just get to it and just be straightforward than like beat around the bush and like pretend something's not going on.
I hate elephants in the room. I don't. If I feel like, it's an issue, or I know, 9 times out of 10, when something may have come wrong, and it's very easy to just be open and honest and rectify that. When Izzy's saying, hey, don't worry about hurting my feelings, I take that and go with it, because at the end of the day, I think she understands well enough.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you typically do. You know when your fans.
It's true. It's true. Yeah.
We
You know what the
know.
line is. Yeah.
You know,
That's true. And it also leads, me to ask, when you do stuff like say something that's wrong, how accountable are you for your actions? How accountable are you for your words and the things that you say and the things that you've done to hurt somebody? Because a lot of the things that come about in my relationship is I'll find myself apologizing because I hurt, my partner's feelings, and she'll tell me not to apologize. And it's not that I'm apologizing. She'll tell me not to apologize for something that, like if I don't understand that I'm wrong. And a lot of times I don't understand that I'm wrong. Sometimes we have very different perspectives on what an issue can be. And sometimes I feel like I don't know why I'm wrong, but I can acknowledge the fact that she's upset. I can acknowledge the fact that whatever I may have done that I don't understand yet has hurt her, and that's something that I should feel, apologetic for. Not that I'm apologizing for something just because, but because I'm apologizing for the inherent action of hurt and pain. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's.
So my thing with apologies is like, are you remorseful for your actions?
Mm-hmm.
If you are not genuinely remorseful, don't apologize.
Yeah, that's how I feel too.
And if something stirred something in you, don't be sorry it stirred something. Obviously, that's you. That's like kind of being sorry for being you.
Yeah.
At that point, because it stirred something in you. I get what you're saying when you're like, but I think it goes back to too, like you never want to hear you hurt your partners,
Yeah.
You didn't want to. So, I mean, saying I'm sorry for it kind of puts like a sense of blame on yourself. And if I want to truly be accountable for my actions, I don't want you to feel bad for having to let me know. You know what I mean? If that makes sense in a sense,
Yeah.
Your remorse there makes me feel like then shit. Why are you sorry? If I'm the one that fucked up.
Okay.
And I get you care. I love that. But, if I got to be the one holding myself accountable, don't give me accountability, but,
Yeah. That's a really fair point. I never thought about it like that. Verbal tongue twister, I see you play. I hope you're having a great night. Yeah, that's a good way to think about that. Because I never looked at it from that perspective. I always just wanted to make sure that I was not letting something just be what it was without letting it be known that that's not something that was, I was intentionally doing, or something that I was doing to, hurt somebody. So.
Mm-hmm. And I think it goes back to sometimes when you guys been kind of like going over this with different people, I will take your reasoning, and I'm not calling that an excuse, but I want a reasoning. We all kind of want that why, and we're quick to be like, oh, that's an excuse. No, your reasoning was there. Thank you for walking me through what happened here, but that doesn't change the fact of what happened. That doesn't change the impact of the actions. Mm-hmm. So that, in that, when you look at it like that, you don't have to be sorry for offering me an explanation, but be sorry for the impact of it. I appreciate the explanation. It made it make sense, and that shows genuineness. As long as you still understand, you have to the impact of those misplaced actions, because no one's perfect. You're gonna fuck up. You're gonna, think this may have helped and it didn't, but you gotta do what you gotta do to fix it.
And that's where the accountability comes in.
Are you just sorry, or are you willing to act on why you're sorry? And I think a lot of times, like, I have a lot of friends even where you're like, why am I angry? Filled, like, why does it feel like I'm still like kind of giving more here than the other person is? Because like saying sorry and atoning for actions are different, and I don't really like sorry. I want to see you do different.
Yeah. You gotta do different. You can't just say sorry. And that's something I'm working on a lot, is trying to follow through with actions as opposed to just being apologetic and not doing something different. So I feel that. Cornwell, I see you play it. I hope you're having a great night. I guess the next question I want to ask is, how determined are you to change? And like, where does your determination turn into actual steps? That's something I'm bad at. I'm really good at coming up with ideas on how to change things, but I'm bad at enforcing that. Like, I'm good at saying I need to do A, B, and C, but I'm so bad at starting at A and following through at C. Like, it's a rough thing. Like, the determination is there, but I'm struggling to find ways to turn it into actual progress. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Yeah.
For me, when I change myself, so that means I am in a constant state sometimes, because I do go unmedicated, of having to adapt to the stress in my life. And for a long time, and even now, my biggest thing I deal with is change. And I have a tendency to sometimes make plans that are very long. And if I don't hit every mark the way I want it to hit, that affects how I approach that plan and my motivation towards that plan. And so I think it starts, for me, I apply how I adjust my character and deal with my mental health to every aspect of my life. Because if I don't, then the changes I take in my mental health are not going to really take root. And that's for me personally. So when I approach change with relationships or friends, it's very much intangible goals, because I have to recognize me as a person who suffers from impulse control. And how can I hit these small markers that are going to encourage that my friends will see the difference and encourage that positive change. And I don't feel like at the core of me, I'm just like turning into some person I never wanted to be. I want to turn into the best person I can be. And so that's what made me, change my outlook on how I look at change.
Taking those small steps.
Making them tangible, making them things that I can do, even if it's just changing the way I get up in the morning, and sticking to that for 2 weeks. Because then I start noticing, I got more time, because I got up early and I took it a little slower than just trying to rush through a 20-minute dressing process. I was able to have more time and patience in my day to remember to do little things for certain people, to remember to hold back certain responses to certain people that are a little bit more sensitive to that, to remember, okay, I don't want to be a hothead. How do I have patience? That was the whole thing there. Small adjustments lead to big change.
That's true. God damn it, Petty. God damn it. This was such a good podcast. I'm not fuck the viewers, but literally this was a great podcast for me. Like I'm taking it a lot right now. Holy shit. Nah, that's fair though. Take those small tangible goals, set something that's realistic, not something that's so far-fetched. I'm good for that, like suggesting that people take small steps, but I'm terrible at like me setting tangible goals for myself. Like I always set the craziest goals. Like when I first decided I wanted a car, my first thought was I'm going to get a Mercedes-Benz. I don't even make Mercedes-Benz money, bro. Like I'm still in my mind that's still my thought, but like you know what I'm saying? It's like set a tangible goal.
And there's nothing wrong with thinking big for yourself. Yeah. I suffer from grandiose thinking. Once a month we think we can take on the world. Yes. And all of my friends, even myself included, we suffer from overachiever syndrome, where you just you want to shoot for the in your mind, just shooting for the stars and landing on the. That's the goal every time. And if I keep shooting and overshooting, but you only got so much gas in the tank, and we're getting older, and I'm gonna tell you something. I gotta put premium in this bitch, because I can't even just put a 20 on it no more. I gotta put a whole 50 and fill up the tank. Okay. I'm not taking it like I used to, Man. So you have to be realistic with yourself, and just shout out to my therapist who always reminds me, I'm very tactical in my thinking. Small battles win. And just because you won this giant battle, that does not always change, the aspects of the war. That's not going to always turn the war in your favor. You have to, as you move in life, make smart tactical decisions. And I've learned to appreciate the smaller tactical decisions that lead to victory. And I've noticed that change in like the last 6 months of my life. A lot of people know I grieved really hard. I was just like, I kind of fell off the face of the earth, but it was a different fall off for me, in that this time I knew I wanted to reinvent. I wanted to control that entire process. I wanted to be healthy. Yeah. And I did it, and I was very proud. And it's still a work in progress. We're still working, but
proud of you.
I'm very much small tactical changes led to my victory.
Yeah. Yeah, you have been lighter. I can also see that. So that's good. Yeah. Small skirmishes help with the battle. Small battles help to win the war. Facts, verbal. Facts.
That's the goal.
Okay. Cornwell says, Irk, you have helped me calm down, and like you have helped me calm down. And I took a break from life, honestly, but I'm back. Missed you, love you, just miss talking to you. Cornwell, I miss you as well. You know what I'm saying? It ain't about shit. We're all working. You know what I'm saying? I'm an adult, but I'm still working. Like, I'm still trying my hardest out here to figure this shit out. You know what I'm saying? This shit is never easy. The battle with yourself, the battle with your friends, the battle with your partners, it's all hard. You know what I'm saying? And when we speak about relationships, honestly, we talking about all types of relationships. Friendships, familiar relationships. You know what I'm saying? Are you holding your friends accountable? Are you holding your family accountable? That's something I've been recently doing, is holding my family accountable. I'm teaching my friends to hold me accountable. I got this friend, shout out to Ronnie, that's my fucking dog. He holds me accountable every step of the way. Anytime he notices I do something wrong, on my ass. That's the type of friends you need around you. You know what I'm saying? The friends that you can expose yourself to so they can tell you when you're fucking up. You know, that goes with family, that goes with relationships. My partner is quick to tell me when I'm doing something dumb. My partner is quick to tell me, all right, this is not even for you. What are you doing? If you don't surround yourself with those type of people, you're doing yourself a disservice more than anything else. You're doing yourself a disservice.
There's got to be a level of honesty in every relationship you cultivate. Mm-hmm. And I tell people all the time, I have a lot of, but I have very few friends. And you would look at the relationship between me and all my friends and be like, yo, that guy's an asshole. Or, you know, how is that not toxic? But it's the level of honesty that we hold ourselves to. For every harsh friendship I have, and this is not to be misconstrued with having toxic friends who really don't want your good for you. These guys hold you not just to those bad accountabilities, but they literally celebrate your good. And those are the things that they remind you of when you are not being your best self. They are quick to throw in your face, how could you do this when I know you're capable of that?
Yeah.
And every single one of my friends, that's the level of where it gets to. You got to talk to me a bit differently. So you'll look at how we talk to each other and be like, well, that was kind of harsh. But if you know me, Eric will tell you, I'm kind of a harsh friend.
Facts.
And very much, it comes off sometimes funny, a little soft, but the truth of it is harsh. And I've learned you can't shield anyone really from that. Kind of just have to let it be what it is. And if you're genuine in everything else you do with them, they'll understand. And I think that's the difference between, is it toxic and, you know, are you being honest? You know, is it genuine through in everything they do? And my friends will all probably give me the shirt off their back, and I would give them my last nickel or dime in my pocket if you ask me to, because the genuineness of the honesty throughout it all, whether it's soft heart or, you know, just seemed a little brutal, was always there. And we hold each other to a standard that if you're not pushing me to be better, I don't know what you're doing here.
Get out of here.
The only thing I know how to do is push you to yourself.
That's okay. Listen, that's where I fell off with a lot of people, because there's a lot of homies that I used to hang out with all the time. I see them now and I'm like, so what are you doing? Like, are you doing what you're supposed to? Are you out here making the music you're supposed to? Are you out here putting out videos? I'm on ass. Because I don't want to hear about I went out drinking, I went out, I don't want to hear about that. That's not the best version of you. You can have a drink every once in a while. Do your thing. I don't care about that. But when it comes to every time I tap in with you, you're getting drunk, you're out doing this, that, and the third, you know what I'm saying? When we got bigger priorities afoot, I'm not being a good friend to you, letting you do that. I'm not being a good friend to you, sitting beside you, watching you do that nonsense. I'm not being a good friend to me, because I'm not that type of person. I don't want to sit around that. You know what I'm saying? You have to find your people. You know what I'm saying? In every circumstance you float about, find your people. Find the people you can be honest with. Find the people who, if you say, yo, why the fuck aren't you working? Yo, why the fuck aren't you doing this? They hear you. You know what I'm saying? Much like Petty, I'm a very harsh person. I don't know how to be nice to people that I love. I don't. I can be nice to people I don't know, because I don't know you. I don't have to be, you know, I don't have to give you honesty. I don't know you. Go ahead with whatever false image you want. But if I know you, it's never not going to be harsh. It's never not going to be me on ass, because I expect the same thing out of you. And that's just a lot of the reason why I spend a lot of time alone, because I don't find a lot of that in a lot of the people that I be with, because it's just a lot of people don't want that either. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't also force people to, you know, always want to hear the truth. Like, some people just want to vibe out, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, it's all love to my homies who I don't hang out with anymore. They know that I love them. You know, it's just that I don't want to just hang out. Sometimes I want to get to work. I want to see a million. You know what I'm saying? I got goals. And if your friends don't have the same goals as you, there's something going on that's not okay. And that's
if
just
we're really
what it
friends,
is.
I understand why you can't sit in the presence of, you know, I think even with me, I was one of the, I'm a
Run it back. You just cut out. The whole thing cut out.
Oh, did I hit my... Oh, we're good. But no, I'm a streamer, and I in my last 6 months, I have not been here very often. I don't expect my friends to hold their stream in progress. In fact, I'd be upset if you did.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be very pissed off. I'm gonna be like, what are you doing? I want you to get up and rolling. You got to get up the same way I know you. Like he said, I'm at the club. I'm out on the streets. Why, that is not what you own. Get over there and get to grinding. And I'm going to grind over here to get myself respect with you. It's realizing when you can't be in every lane and still being able to support your friend while they run that race.
Do you? If you want to go out every weekend and be a hoe, bro, I'm back home. Like, woo, my friend is single. They got dick for you. Like, I'm waving that flag for you, but I'm not out next to you in the club helping you buy drinks for bitches. No, that's not my vibe. And there's nothing wrong with that. That don't mean we can't be friends. It just means that at the moment we got different goals. And if we're really friends, at some point we will reconvene because our goals have always been the same. So it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that you holding your friends to a certain standard so that way y'all all hold each other to a standard so y'all all win together.
It goes back to even like when we were talking about relationships and, you know, the type of partner you're choosing. You got to use that same mindset when a lot of times I, you know, will tell my bestie in a minute. I spend a lot of time telling her, you know, you pick friends that don't really mesh with your character. And, you know, you sometimes feel like as a person, if you are not, you know, we all feel like we go do something that's not really up at our character level. And so you will take some people that are in that area and think they're supposed to be with you every step of the way, not knowing they live here 24/7. You was just on a downward slope for a second, knowing you needed to get back up the hill. And these guys have no get up and go. They're not coming back up the hill with you. And you find yourself wondering, why are you losing these friends? Why is it suddenly you're willing to do something that I would never condone? And you're expecting me to be okay with that. Well, you said you condoned this in them, and you were, you know, negating everything else that came with that. And now you're wondering, now you're seeing, you know, that's just something you can't carry this person as a friend. And maybe you felt like that was an unnecessary investment. You know, you got to remember, were you holding this person to a standard that they just weren't capable of meeting? That's not even in his character.
That too.
You know, that's not you. You met him down here. Not everybody you meet at the every day. We can vibe when I'm drunk. Yeah, I met you while I was. We vibe. We can meet at the same party every Friday night, but that don't mean I can kick it with you Monday through Thursday.
Facts.
Especially if you think how we acted on Friday night is act the rest of the week. I gotta go to work, bro.
Yeah, that's another thing. You can't take you niggas nowhere.
I gotta go to work. I have a job. I have responsibilities. This is something I can do once a week on some letdown shit, but I can't live this way. You know?
Yeah, like we all can't be that unemployed friend at 2:00 on a Wednesday, bro. Like some niggas gotta work.
Travel.
Yeah, some niggas gotta do something, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you got the capacity to be that nigga at 2:00 on a Wednesday, do that. I used to be that nigga. Every 2:00 roll around, I'm in bed smoking weed, watching TV, and that was cool at that time. But I moved out of that. You get out of phases. Some people don't, and there's nothing wrong with that. Just move on. I mean, just move on.
Nobody who genuinely cares about you is gonna be upset that you moved forward.
Exactly. They're gonna be happy for you. They're gonna be giving you thumbs up.
Boy, I'm of the belief that everybody, you know, if you're in cahoots with me in any form of fashion, yo, we're always all on a stairmaster. And some of us may be up there hitting the pace faster than others at times, but that don't ever mean I forgot about you. Because at the moment I get to a rest stop, I'm gonna look back. Hey, bro, you good? Okay, I see you moving at an appropriate pace. All right. Don't feel the need to rush. You do what you got to do. But if I don't see you moving forward, that don't mean I forgot about you. I'll come back and have a talk with you.
All right.
Now, I can't make you want to move forward, but I can let you know I'm still here when you do.
Yeah. Big facts. Big facts. You just got to be there for people. You know what I'm saying? If that was really your homie at one point in time, just be there for him. You know what I'm saying? Just be there for them, because you don't never know what somebody going through. You never know what's making somebody stay at that second stair. You on stair 8, but why are they still on stair 2? You know what I'm saying? Do you understand their perspective? And that's my last question of the night, is how often do you, in friendships and relationships, in your family, consider the perspective of the ones that you feel are opposing your opinions or making you feel a certain way? You know, I think it's very easy for us to go, you hurt me, or like, you saying I hurt you is not valid because I didn't mean to. And it's like, well, how do they feel? You know what I'm saying? On their side, why do they feel the way that they feel? what's driving them to do and say things that you feel are just not aligning with you. You know what I mean? It's like perspective is a bitch. Me and Izzy say that all the time. Perspective is a bitch. Like, it's crazy what other people's perspectives could possibly look like and what it can make them do. Like,
what they say, hindsight is 20/20 all the time, you know? And I think it goes back to, intention does not change or validate action. Because so rarely does our intention actually line up with what happened.
Yeah.
And human beings, we tend to be reckless. We are emotional. We just react in the moment. You can have the greatest of control and sometimes suffer a reaction that you did not intend to come off that way. Or maybe that person was just a little bit more sensitive that day. I love debate, and I used to do a lot of arguing and politicking. And one thing, in order to be successful, you have to understand is before you can win an argument, truthfully understand how to win an argument, you have to understand the other side. You can never know the flaws in your own plan until you understand what they're going to say to you. You can't beat his answer truthfully if you do not really understand the answer. And so, in theory, it's always easier, but at some point, I try to come back, and even if it's a week later when I finally come down and see from a third person, how crazy did I even look? You know, what did this conversation look like? When someone is talking to me, I want to live outside of myself, but that's not always possible. But at some point, you have to evaluate that conversation perspective that is not your own.
Yeah.
And sometimes you want to put that perspective in other friends and everyone else but that person. And you get a lot of answers that align with what you wanted because your friends tend to agree with you. But true, genuine understanding of that person is understanding its perspective. And I kind of, at the point, no matter how stubborn I want to be, go back to laying in my bed at night and just being like, that's not invalid.
Yeah. Yeah, real shit.
Fuck.
Real shit.
Fuck, I was wrong. Shit, I gotta go apologize.
And that's the worst thing, boy. But you gotta you gotta take your ego down, because it's in most situations where you have caused somebody else hurt, or you've gotten hurt. If you consider the other person's perspective, it gets a lot easier to come to an understanding and come to a resolution on how things should go from there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's seldom, like you said, like, it's seldom a time where somebody said, I've done something wrong. Well, listen, it depends on who it is. Seldom a time I've done something wrong and I didn't sit in bed and think, wow, like, I actually was wrong. Like, I did fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of the times it do be you, and it don't be your fault, but it's you, and you should figure out a way not to do that shit again. And that's just what it is. Like, you should want to be a better person to those around you, to not do that shit again. Like, you should want to enact that change that makes you not do that type of stuff again, and make people feel that type of way again. So
I mean, ask yourself this: any person that you genuinely really care about, that you really want to change for, you have to, if you want to make that change, you have found that there was a reason you needed to make that change.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and no matter how mad you are at a person, you ultimately always want to fix it at the core of it. It's about more than just being right.
Mm-hmm.
If I really value your opinion, because I'm of the belief that my friends should, I want the negative opinion. Very rarely should we be in agreement. Because I want you to, if I let's be honest, I'm grandiose. I'm a little older. 9 times out of 10 when I called you wilding out, but I trust you to be that person to tell me that I was wrong. Because if I just walked around letting everybody tell me I was getting ran over, but your friends should be those people in your life that you call your friends, or your trusted associate, or your spouse. That person is there because you believe they know you well enough to be the one person who can tell you when you're wrong.
Tell you when you're
so you can't really believe that if you're always right.
Right.
You can't always be right. It's statistically impossible. At some point, you got to consider their perspective, and they're right.
They were probably right.
Boy,
probably right.
75.7777. Karen can confirm she was probably right.
Yeah, like Especially if it's your partner, she's probably right. In friendships, it's a little bit more sparse. Like you can see how things get misconstrued, but in a relationship, your partner is not just bringing stuff up to like be a bitch. Like they're bringing stuff up to you because they want things to change and they want things to be different than how they've been going. You know what I'm saying? So you should take that into consideration and think, what is their perspective like, and what is mine, and how do we come and meet in the middle? You know what I'm saying? With friends,
You can't trust the authenticity of your partner. Why are you with them? you need to go back to that question.
Exactly.
If you cannot trust the authenticity of your partner, that's not your partner.
that's just somebody you got around sleeping with. You can get that anywhere. Throw a rock, you hit 20 of them.
If you couldn't trust the authenticity of the person you called a friend, why are you kicking it with them?
Did that even make sense?
Why did you even get that? F is for friends who do fun stuff together. Like, so we ain't even got to you and me.
Right, you was not for you and me.
It's not. You are for you.
Right, you was for no. Okay.
Exactly.
Real shit.
You know, if you're developing authenticity in your, then these things aren't hard to come by.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody said they had to be easy to swallow. I don't know if that's my internet.
Easy to swallow. That's what she said.
No, and nobody. You know, the truth isn't. Nobody wants to take critique. You know, and that's why I said, you know, no one's ever to hurt anybody, but you're human and you do, and you have to be willing to understand how you hurt someone.
Yeah, you have to be willing to understand. You have to want to grow. Yeah,
exactly. And it's not that hard sometimes when you realize I'm trying to live up to better character. This person really authentically wants the best for me, sees the best in me, and is saying they see an actual character flaw in me. I wonder if that's why I'm unhappy. I didn't go to my friends because I wanted to be right. Granted, I may call and be like, am I? But, you know, and they're going to tell me, hey, no, you've been. But when they say,
just say, yeah, okay.
What do you want to hear right now? Do you want the truth or do you want to rant this out?
Yeah.
Go back to, you want to circle back? I'd be like, you know what? Let me get it off my chest, and then we can circle back to while I'm wilding out.
Yeah, facts. Let's take it back to the drawing board. I come back with it. Yeah, and that's okay too. Like it's okay to feel upset and then have to reconsider why you might be upset. Like there's nothing wrong with that. Like there's nothing wrong with being upset, and there's nothing wrong with sometimes not understanding why you're upset and just recognizing that you're upset and there's something that needs to be done differently.
Today's society will make you think that you have to be happy all the time, and that is not realistically possible. And you sometimes feel like you are. I know a lot of people who are penalized in their own psyche and mental because they don't live up to what society says is happiness, or they're not happy all the time. And I think life is stressful, and we work jobs. You just can't be happy all the time. You know, as somebody who's like literal hormonal, emotional output. Shorter in stock than most individuals.
Literally.
I just know sometimes I can't go to the counter and I get a little happy. No, we max. When y'all getting it back in, y'all ain't getting the truck yet. Oh my God. I can't make my body produce. And I struggled with a long time with learning to be okay, but not being okay.
Mm-hmm.
And having to survive through it and knowing that but you got to pace yourself.
Yeah.
And being okay to walk when you can't run.
Yeah, facts. I'd be so manic, I'll convince myself that I'm okay. And then my mania withers down and I go below the bar and then I realize I've been fucking depressed for 3 fucking weeks straight. And I've just been hiding it from myself. And now I want to do something devastating. And it's like, just breathe. Just breathe. Figure out how to not repress every fucking emotion, and then next month try a little better. And maybe the mania will only last 2 weeks, and you'll feel better for another week. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the mania the next month will only last a week, but you gotta like you said earlier, you gotta set those small milestones and try and figure out how to bring yourself back, because it's okay to not be okay, but it's not okay to sit in that forever, and that's where a lot of us get fucked up, especially if you have a lot of mental health issues, or if you have mental health issues at all. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what we got going on. We mental health squad over here, baby. We fucked up in the brain, but it's cool because we know that everybody is fucked up in some way, and we're all just trying to figure out how to cope with that shit. You know,
No, absolutely. How do you buckle your seatbelt and get ready for? And how do you survive in those roller coasters? Mania. I think a lot of people assume when you're manic, it's just all positive. And like I said, it's that whole outlook on life that everybody should have. Like, fuck social media. No, we're not. Mm-mm. And not every manic episode, rapid influx of emotion is necessarily always that happy-go-lucky, grandiose thinking. Sometimes it's heavy on the anger, heavy on the depression, heavy on just like the intensity of it, and just how do you like survive that? And like I said, I make small tangible changes that let me know thinking.
Yeah.
And sometimes staying stagnant was a victory.
I tell you, boy. I tell you, sometimes I start making
the fact that I just didn't emotionally go out there and fuck some shit up, I'm gonna take that dub.
That's literally perfect enough. The fact that I had a boring month, I will actually accept that for once. Like, I try to soak in that shit, because like you said, people don't understand that mania is not just always like I'm just on top of the world and I can tackle everything. Like, nah, like sometimes I'm angry for 2 weeks and I'm just like every day I wake up and I'm angry, and I go to sleep and I'm angry, and I wake up and I'm angry. Some weeks I wake up and I'm depressed. Some weeks I do wake up and I'm like, I can do whatever I want. And then when that mania is over and I realize I started a billion tasks that I can't finish because I thought I was on top of the world, now my depression skyrocket just goes down into hell, plummets into hell, and now it's even worse. Like, people don't understand that mania is not just something that you can just typically describe as one thing, because my mania looks different from somebody else's mania, and their mania looks different than the other person's mania. Like, oh,
everybody's stress is different.
Yeah,
stress levels are the biggest depictor. And I am, boy, my friends will tell you in a minute, that you good? I'm depressed, but we here.
I'm telling you, I literally just said my homies were over and I was like, yeah, how are you? I've been depressed for weeks, but I mean, I'm alive.
Sustainably depressed. We're good.
Literally, I'm sustainably depressed. You know what I'm saying? And it's because at some point, and some part of you knows that it's okay, and knows that you're gonna get out of that shit, and when you get out of it, you'll make the best of it, and when you get back into it, it'll be what it is. But when you get out of it again, you'll make the best of it. And it's all about making the best of everything that's around you. It's all about making the best of the circumstances you both put yourself in and the circumstances you're thrust in, because a lot of us are in circumstances we can't help, and it's not like it's not that it's nothing you can do about it, but it's something you can do for you. You know what I'm saying? It's something you can do about how you treat yourself. It's something you can do about how you make yourself feel. It's something you can do about how you approach things. So, you know, you have as much self-control as you can in this situation, but you should exercise the maximum amount of self-control that you can. For sure. Yes,
there's never an excuse not to try to control the response. You know, and I think that's something that impulsively I learned the hard way. There's never an excuse. You know, especially while grieving, my best friend came with, you know what? I love you. I do not know what you're going through. I could never even fathom. And there's nothing I can say that's going to make you feel, you know that. And I was like, no, there's not. And she's like, I'm not going to placate you and piss you off by even attempting. She said, but I got to tell you, you can't hurt everybody around. No amount of pain can inflict on everybody. There's not, you can talk shit. She's like, but hurting everybody else is not going to make. Your grief cannot be an excuse to hurt everyone around you, because when everybody, what then? I'll be here. She's like, but I can only help as much as you allow us.
Yeah. Big facts. Hurt people, but don't let yourself hurt people, but don't become one of those hurt people that hurts people. Try hard not to be that, you know, because it's easy to hurt people, but it's hard to take that hurt away. Nobody ever forgets the hurt that you put on them, but it's easy to just don't hurt people, man. Hurt people. Don't do that. You know, it's hard. It's hard not to, because when you're hurt, you just want to lash out, and you always want to just try and make people feel how you feel, but don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah, that's all, chat. Y'all are amazing. This was We straight at the end, as we literally always do.
I thought you wanted to buy more time. I was just rolling.
59 minutes. Hey,
There you go.
let's go,
We're
baby.
cutting at 45 or now.
Nah, man. Listen, we made it to an hour, baby. First podcast in months. I think the last time we podcasted was actually last year. I don't think we podcasted since last year. So it's good that we're podcasting right now. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all the good people who came through and hung out with us. Shout out to Pistol. Shout out to Karen, who was hanging out, probably chasing her grandchildren all around the house. You know, you guys are amazing.
We're keeping her happy.
You know, you guys are amazing. Hope you guys tune in for episode 11, which will be coming soon. Hopefully next week, if we can get everything, you know, all our ducks in a row, we'll have another podcast.
5 more weeks with this cast on. I cannot turn an episode.
Episode a week, baby. You know, don't hold us to it, but hold us to it. You guys are amazing, man. Catch you guys next week.